In 2008, New York Times correspondent David Rohde was doing final research for a book about Afghanistan when he was kidnapped by the Taliban. He was held in various parts of Afghanistan and Pakistan for 7 months before escaping. Back home, his wife of just 2 months, Kristen Mulvihill, was thrown into a brand new world. Instead of starting a new home and a new life, she had months of hostage negotiations. The couple has now written a book about the experience. It's called A Rope and a Prayer, a kidnapping from two sides. And they join us now, and it is a terrific book because we've never heard your side of the story. David, no offense.
No.
And that is where I want to begin because, as I said, you were just 2 months married. And a big part of what you all talked about, I understand from reading the book before this, was that David was going to settle down. You know, enough of this life as a foreign correspondent. You find out, even though he didn't tell you, that he was kidnapped, and there's a scene with your mom that I'd really like you to tell us about, because you're dealing with real anger right now, and you say to your mom, we just took a wedding vow, and your mom says,
and now it's your chance to live up to it. So, you know, get past feeling angry. It's your job to bring him home. And
she kind of shook you by the shoulders.
It was fantastic, and I really appreciate in retrospect that she did that. She could have, you know, nitpicked at David, and instead she just rallied behind both of us and was very supportive.
Well, let's put you on the hot seat now. Okay, you're 2 months into marriage. You've promised not to do this, yet you almost can't help yourself. It's your duty to go do this interview.
Yeah, I want to understand sort of why the United States was losing in Afghanistan and why the Taliban were so strong, but it was obviously a mistake not to tell Kristen. She's an incredibly strong woman. That's very clear in the book, and I was convinced that if I told her I was going to go to the interview, she would say, do not go, and I would have abided by her wishes. I would have not gone, so I didn't tell her, and that was
you
a
thought
mistake.
It was just going to be an afternoon's drive outside of Kabul, and you'd be back by evening. No one would ever know.
He had done 3 other interviews with other Western journalists. He didn't kidnap the other Western journalists. I spoke to a journalist, a foreigner, who had met with him, and she said that, you know, he felt he was just trying to use the media to get across the Taliban's message, and instead it was a trap.
Yet in those 7 months, you were, I should ask the question instead, was there ever a moment where you became convinced you weren't going to get killed?
When we crossed into Pakistan, when we were taken to the tribal areas of Pakistan, this is the area where Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden are thought to be hiding, I thought we were doomed. I thought we'd be held for years or killed. It's really a Taliban mini-state where they can hold prisoners as long as they want. And
this was all, of course, it would be brand new to anybody, but especially to your, by day, you're a photo editor
at
Cosmo.
magazine.
You can't tell anyone, yet you're actually negotiating with the Taliban?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was quite an ordeal to manage both worlds. In some ways, my daily job gave me some sense of normalcy and actually a bit of comic relief at times. Between negotiating with the Taliban, I was planning shoots, you know, bachelors in their boxer shorts. So it was really, you know, it was a bit of a relief at times. And then over time it became too much to sort of keep the secret. And I did take a leave of absence to work fully on his case.
The book is called A Rope and a Prayer. And David, you did not grow up religious. You didn't go into this experience as a religious man, yet you write about relying on prayer through the ordeal.
It helped me to sort of say a set of prayers to myself every day. And I was kind of, my experience was sort of religion at its best and at its worst. Extreme religion was what led these Taliban militants to kidnap me, and that's a dangerous force in the world. I've seen that in Afghanistan and the Balkans as well. I think moderate religion is a positive force in the world, and it did help me keep going, but, you know, religion can be used for political purposes, and that's what the Taliban and Al-Qaeda are doing. They're really distorting Islam.
But it kept you going to such a degree that you actually found the will, really the courage to escape.
It did, and it sort of centered me every day. And in the end, we decided to escape because they were just playing games with these negotiations, and we felt we would never be released. I was furious at our captors, and I really wanted them to get nothing for us.
I love one of your final phrases, Christian. You said that in the end, this experience taught me how to let go without giving up.
Exactly. And prayer was a big part of the experience for me. And I had hope throughout that David, I really worried about his peace of mind, that he would find some sort of faith or be able to pull on some inner strength to get through this.
Well, it is a fascinating book. Thanks for sharing it with us. You know, your New York Times colleague, photographer Joao Silva, recently was injured in Afghanistan, lost both his legs. So we wanted to make sure our viewers know they can see his work and learn how to help him on our website, along with an excerpt of A Rope and a Prayer. Thanks both for joining us.
Thank you very much.